How we doing this morning, everybody? How we doing, guys? Grabbing some of that coffee right now myself. So hitting highs overnight once again. Crazy, crazy. How you all doing so far? Morning, morning. All right, we'll get started here in just a minute with some news and pre-market prep here. So from the title, you can tell retail earnings not so good so far. So far, the ones that have reported are Home Depot and Kohl's. Home Depot earnings revenue was $27.2 billion. The expected was $27.44. EPS was right in line. Comparable sales, though, was down 3.6% positive, but it was expected to be 3.6 or 4.6, so that's pretty significant. They also lowered their top and bottom line guidance, which is why the stock dropped. It was down significantly and has been slowly bought up here pre-market, so it'll be interesting to see what happens at open. I don't see it turning green at any point today. Their lower guidance has already been dropped once before this, and then it was dropped at this earnings call, so that is not good. The earnings call is going on right now as we speak, and it does not seem like this was an industry issue. This seems like it was an internal issue with Home Depot. Lowe's will be posting earnings tomorrow, but I don't see this as a significant drawdown to them, even though they dropped this morning also. Just that's how it works with Lowe's and Home Depot. However, now that Home Depot has set the bar pretty low, Lowe's just has to basically come in line, and they could do very well on earnings tomorrow. The other earnings this morning was Kohl's, ticker symbol KSS. They also missed significantly, and they were down a lot, about 10%, and they have not been bought up like Home Depot has. The other earnings today are TJ Maxx, ticker symbol TJX, and Urban Outfitters, URBN, which will post earnings after market. So that will be interesting to see, but so far not so good for retail, which is definitely not looking good on the overall picture for the economy. In other news, Apple last night posted we talked about it a little bit in Discord, but they posted an event for December 2nd where they will be releasing their upcoming games and apps and all that kind of stuff. So I don't really see that being a significant boost, even though the stock is up. Boeing is up slightly this morning, but in their news, they are to meet with Southwest on Wednesday and Thursday, which is their largest customer, to present an overview of return to service. So I'll be keeping my eye on that to see what they're saying about getting their 737s back into service. This comes after the CEO said it would look to diversify next year because of damage, including daily cancellation of 100+ flights. And so far, there was a $435 million loss from January to September for Southwest. And so this is why Boeing is going there to talk to them about when they will have the 737 MAXs back in service. So I'll definitely have my eye on that. Gold has been edging higher on concerns over trade with the China deal and the China worries about the Trump impeachment. The Trump impeachment will be continued today, the first part of the inquiry. Trump yesterday met with Mnuchin and Powell. Not too sure what was all said. Powell did put out a couple statements, and so did the president's party, saying that things were cordial. That's really all I was able to really find, and just said that everything was in line, but I don't see that as being necessarily the truth. GM, Toyota have a halt put on to them by state government purchases in California due to emission standards. That is not good for GM, which has already been pretty beat up in recent times. Beyond, there is a Burger King lawsuit claiming Beyond Burgers contaminated with meat via the Impossible Whopper at an Atlanta drive-thru. I don't see this as being negative for Beyond, even though Beyond has been very beat up since reaching highs this summer. Walmart, ticker symbol WMT, is seeking police protection in Chile after the riots have burned and looted over 120 stores, causing enormous economic damage. I actually saw this morning that it was over 128 stores, including their grocery chains there. BABA will close the doors to Hong Kong retail investors at noon today, which is a half day earlier than they had planned due to the high demand for their new launch in China. That is that secondary offering I've been talking about for the last week, so I will definitely be watching my eye on BABA today and going into next week. They start trading in China, I believe, on, what do I have it here on? I think it's the 26th. Disney, the Disney Plus accounts were hacked, being sold for $3 to $11. It was thousands of accounts were stolen by hackers just hours after launch. What they're saying that they think this is not a problem with Disney Plus. It was actually a phishing scam by the hackers to gain. But basically, what it sounded like they were doing is they were using. So people that they had already gotten their emails and people that had signed up for Disney Plus, they were able to use, they were using the same emails and the same exact passwords for all of their accounts. So they were able to go in and block them out of their Disney Plus accounts. And then they were selling these on the dark web. And this is still going on as of now. They have not been able to, how they're going to stop it. There's nothing Disney can really do. So if you or anyone you know has a Disney Plus account, I would highly suggest changing up those passwords. And obviously the phishing scam it's crazy that this is still happening in 2020, that people don't know to not open these emails. Why would they send you an email? If you're not emailing them, it doesn't make much sense. But in other entertainment news, Spotify and Amazon. Spotify stock dropped almost 5% after Amazon is now offering free music service on more devices, including iPhone, Android, Amazon Fire TV, and the Echo. So Spotify dropped yesterday, pretty significant drop, and this could have very long-term detrimental effects to Spotify service and some of the others, but especially Spotify. So that's something I'll be watching my eye on. Also, the 5 things I talked about yesterday, the 5 things in focus were these earnings from Home Depot, Kohl's, Target, Macy's, and Urban Outfitters. So again, Home Depot and Kohl's both reporting pretty poor retail earnings so far. So that will be something we'll keep an eye on. The trade developments, the central banks are in focus. Tomorrow on Wednesday, the Fed will publish the minutes from October meetings. And then, like I said yesterday, we get the New York, Cleveland, and Minneapolis presidents all speak this week. And don't forget that also Thursday, the EU Bank will publish their minutes also. Looking through the notes here, BABA price. Google, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I looked more into this. So Google is their new checking account service could help banks in their battle for consumer deposits. The actual significant to this is, yes, good for Google and good for their partnership. However, this is going to have a huge effect on Bitcoin and crypto in general, because what they're talking about is essentially creating their own cryptocurrency. And unlike the entire Facebook Libra fiasco, this Google one could actually be something that actually gains some ground and takes off there. That is all I have for the pre-market prep stuff and news. I know Darth had to get his video out, was a little bit late because of internet issues. He's in Australia, and I don't know if you guys know, but they have those, they're having massive fires. And so it's causing huge issues with his internet service where he is at as well. Other things we'll be watching today is we'll definitely be watching Disney. Be watching Roku. They significantly dropped last night after the secondary offering was posted, but they've been slowly being bought up here this morning. I will be watching. I had a small bearish position in Home Depot for earnings, so I'll be watching that this morning. I will be watching Target Lows for the plays off of the news on retail. And I believe, what else was I watching this morning? NVIDIA, of course. And I also will be watching the banks. The XLF was up slightly. Now it is, I think it's just flatlined here. Yeah, at 29.81. So you can see it's flatlined here right now as of now. But it was up slightly. But the banks are up slightly this morning too. So that's something we're going to watch. We've got about 15 minutes till the bell. I am going to grab some coffee and stretch out and do my meditation. I will be back on a couple minutes before the bell, and we will go over some plays, some possible plays, and I also will be hopefully we'll see how the market goes. Might be crazy and choppy here at the beginning. If we start to slow down, maybe we will be able to go into some in-depth hedging. Once again, I want to go over. I know I went over that last week, but this is something I'm going to keep going over for a couple of weeks. So we'll talk about spreads and hedging at all-time highs as we are getting extremely overextended all over. And we're not quite at the level I think we're at ready to flip this, but we're definitely getting up there now, hitting 31.32. I was calling about 31.50 to 3200. So we're getting very, very close to where I was, where I will start to feel like getting bearish. So yeah, you guys grab some coffee, do some stretching, get your play set up, get your trade idea set up, post them in here or post them in Discord so we can help everyone, and let's have a good day. I will talk to you guys here in just a few minutes. guys, here we go. We're just getting ready here for the bell. I posted a couple of those plays I'm looking at in there, which was keeping my eyes on UAL, Starbucks, Roku, Disney, Nvidia, HD, McDonald's, and Boeing. Also, Google is keeping the monsters of tech up here right now. We'll definitely have an eye on that stuff here out of the gate. Again, definitely with the boost up overnight, this is going to be very choppy here. So let's try to keep ourselves. Don't be chasing risk reward. Remember, guys, everything we just keep going over. Just be careful. Just really, really watch the risk reward stuff here. Okay. Oh, let's see here. Volatility is slightly down. Back up to about 12.55. Okay. Here we go. We're got about 30 seconds till the bell. Oil is down once again. Also, I can't believe how low it's gotten down. We're at 56.05 already. This is just crazy. Poor oil, man. Which does drag down everything else. The other thing is financials being up slightly today are going to keep the markets up. But if those go, then like I told you guys, that's when we'll slip. But I think we're going to be in another range day today. I think we're going to chop around here. Remember, cash is position, guys. Here we go, and I'm definitely not going to trust this cash open here, so be watching, watch this stuff where it's headed, guys. All right, Home Depot is trying to get bought back up. I'm out on my positions on that for a nice 250% win. I'm going over to Walmart now. What are you guys looking at? Let me help you guys. Come on. It's so quiet in here. Oh, it's that kind of day. I understand, guys, especially after everything last night in Discord. You guys, remember, we're not trying to hurt you guys. We want to help you. We are trying to get you guys up because we want to be able to have you guys doing what we're doing and helping us. That's the plan. I've got my selfish reasons. Walmart, where did you go? There you are. Down a little bit this morning, Walmart. Come on, let's go down. If we're going to go down, I thought they might be down harder. Those, I don't know if anybody heard, was talking about they have 128 stores in Chile that they're asking for police protection from the riots. I'm going to close out of this position while I still got a win on my Walmart puts. I'll go ahead and take that, and I'm out for a nice little, what'd I get? Ended up, well, let me do the math real quick. That's 50%. Nice. I'll take it. I'll take it all day. Yeah, nice flush on Roku, guys. Watch this closely. Here we go. Here, let's get over onto Roku. Let's check that bad boy out. So be careful, guys. We're resting on the 4-hour upper Celt here on Roku, though. So this is acting as support right now, okay? It's not resistance, it's support. So let's watch that. Nvidia also flushing slightly, but that'll be something I'll watch as we get closer into those levels. So just keep an eye on that stuff, guys. Oh, I'm losing connection on my second computer. What's going on this morning? At least I still got you guys in here, so that was crazy. Thought I was going to lose you too. Keeping an eye on this Roku, guys, here on the 4-hour. It's still resting. Got support here on the upper Celt, so that's what I'm really watching here. If this breaks, then I will have a bearish bias, but as of now, you also see the 14 crossing the 30 here on the 4-hour. That's actually a bullish signal. So this is on the 4-hour. The daily matters much more, but this is still this is not looking too bad. I mean, I could still go long here now that we've had this breather back down to consolidate. I'd like to see it consolidate for a couple days before I would get long. I have a feeling next week we're going to see the trend reverse on Roku, to be honest, you guys. But I'm not. I mean, I'm not jumping the gun, so please don't. You can see on MU here, the 14 also crossed the 30. That was a bullish signal, and it has risen quite a bit here. But really watch. If I can get this to pull back onto support here on the middle, I would definitely get long into this upper Celt. So that's what we'll be watching on MU. Roku pushing back up there. Let's go ahead and check in with our other plays from this morning. Walmart pushing back up. Let's see here. McDonald's is just now scooching below that middle Celt. Wow, AMD up at over $40 this morning. That is crazy. I didn't think it would happen this quick. Yeah, this is starting to get quite extended. I'm going to start wanting to build a bearish position. I did start yesterday. I think I took I think I bought one put for like 2 months out. I think I've got the January monthlies, but yeah. Let's see how let's check in with our fangs here. Facebook making a little bit of a push up so far, up about $1.46. Netflix already up $3 here, making a push also. Apple is just a slight sell-off, down about 21 cents from yesterday's close. Google losing that it had a little edge this morning. It was holding up the monsters of tech, but it has lost that. Amazon is just chopping around as of now, and Microsoft down just slightly. So I'll definitely have my eyes on monsters of tech and XLF and the financials this morning, because that's where we're going to really see the weight of the market be pushing down. Let's check our ad decline line. We started off at a positive 784. We are now down to a 532. So, but that's still in line with the direction of ES. So there's no divergence there. That's actually in line with each other. So that's good. These tick lines it takes a couple minutes for this to get started, but we are ticking up as of now. So positive ticks, but also an elevated VIX, but that's not surprising with the market pulling down here slightly. So that's where we stand as of now, guys. Looks like I got out of Walmart just in time, and Home Depot. They're trying to push back up on me. I'm glad I got out of those. That's what I do, guys. That's what I say. You know, if you've got profits, take it. In this kind of market, there's no guarantee it's going to keep pushing around. Home Depot is trying to push back down now. Now it is starting to sell off again. Man, Home Depot's making me want to get back in possibly here. Yeah, pretty bad earnings this morning for Kohl's and Home Depot. It'll be interesting to see what happens after market with URBN, and then tomorrow before market lows we'll report. So this could be really critical. If those if they keep putting out bad numbers on these other companies, this could be a turning point. This could be in line with where we're at on on with the market being up around. I mean, I was calling about 3150. We got pretty close. So if retail starts putting out these numbers, that could be the catalyst that gives us a downturn. Now, again, do not front run. Do not just take that as the Bible. That is just my outlook on what is possible with the way we are looking at things right now. What are you guys all looking at right now? What's everybody looking at playing in? Guys, I apologize. I don't know what I said on MU. I think I went the wrong way. I am sorry. This is a perfect example of a bearish scenario. The 14 crossing the 30 on the way down. That is a bearish signal on the 4-hour. So I'm not. I for some reason I feel like I said it the other way around this morning. I'm so sorry. But Roku down now, $6.25 from yesterday's close. So down about up. We just hit 4% now. We're down at 4%. Nvidia down about 1%. Tesla down slightly. Activision also just barely holding on to its gains from yesterday. Boeing up slightly, so we are seeing a lot of a lot of bears here kind of controlling the selling on these individual names, and the market is just barely holding on to the gains. We are up at 31.23, which is a 0.04% on the S&P. So this is definitely a slot fest all around, as well as you can tell when you go into my you go into here and you can see that we opened at a 784 on the add decline line. We're down now to 432. This has got slot fest all over it. Even though we're ticking higher generally in some of the in a couple of the markets, this is going to be a choppy day for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we drop down just a little bit lower here and then right back up. I could see there's going to be significant levels here that the bulls need to control, and if we don't, that's when we're going to drop. And wow, NVIDIA just coming down hard here this morning also. Yeah, just slot fest all over it, guys. Really watch this add decline line, you guys. This is going to be the ticket to what's going on in the market today. It's going to be a lot of significance today, especially with the earnings on these retail names. And I think that's going to have a lot to do with what we're seeing this morning. Wow, Home Depot just absolutely selling off, as well as NVIDIA. Everything just individual names really falling apart here. Market trying to make a little bit of a pop back up, but everything around the board is just pretty red, so not too surprised right now. NVIDIA coming to rest here on support at the middle kilt. This will be very telling if we break through this, or if we can use this as support and go back up towards upper kilt. That is NVIDIA is usually, you can see where it's broken through before there pretty easily, but if it can hold that as support as it is right now, that it could make a push back up to that 213.99, 214 level. So definitely something I'll keep my eyes on. Disney just barely still holding into the green. BABA finding support on middle kilt, as well as Qualcomm and McDonald's keeping support on the middle kilt as well. AMD leading the pack at 40.47, up just barely, about 0.5% as of now. Roku continuing to fall, now down about 4.7%, about $7.55, so sitting at about 152.77. And FANG stocks continuing to all fall, except for Facebook is still in the green, and Amazon is in the green, but just barely $1.40. So I guess Microsoft's technically in the green too, 7 cents, but not for long probably. And add decline line continuing to fall here, down about 370. The ticks are starting to turn. You can see here. I'm gonna blow that up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Let me blow up this VIX too. This is gonna be telltale this morning, guys. Nice. Watching Kohl's, Roku, AMD Shop, Boeing. Nice. Bed Bath Beyond, but low vol. Right on, right on. Good watches, guys. Good watches. Those are all good. Those are all good names. Wow, Roku or NVIDIA just bouncing right off of that level and ripping back up there. That's crazy. Add decline line continuing to fall here as the market's rising. Decline line still falling down. That definitely a slight divergence, but that's not really a divergence as we're down. But we're still in the green on ES here at 31.24, so we're up $2.25. And ticks are turning to the upside as of now, but the VIX is slowly starting to fall, so we could see a little, like I said, it's going to be a chop fest, guys. So what I can see is happening is this bouncing back up here towards the 31.28, 31.30, and then turning back around. I just don't see it definitely not going above that. And then as far as a low, it's going to be hard to say, because if we continue to sell off like this, it's going to get ugly here soon. But as of now, that's what we're seeing. So let's check in on some individual names. Our FANG stocks trying to make a turn here. Facebook turning it around, up 1% now. Apple trying to get this turned around. We go into the green there on Apple. Amazon still just barely holding on to its green levels, as is Microsoft. Google and Netflix still also down just about 0.5%. And Google turns it around into the green, but just barely. So this will be interesting to see if these can help push up. And same with the banks. Let's check in on those. So you can see here XLF is just barely in the green, holding on to this 29.87, was at a high of 29.97. This will be very, very important to watch XLF and the individual bank names today, as along with the FANG stocks, as they carry a lot of weight. The Dow is going to be down quite a bit because of Home Depot, just that individual name falling down. So it's going to be a little bit misleading to watch the Dow numbers, but that's why we also watch the S&P so much and so often, is it's a little bit more telling of an overall market condition, considering it has about 10 times as many names in it. So Roku continuing to fall, now down about 5.4%, $8.57. Boeing is not holding on to its gains. There are significant price levels you can see here on Boeing. I have the 377.90 just right above it. So that would have been a significant push above that. I would have got long to this 384. Now it's holding on to upper Celt on the 4-hour. And the same with MU is just keeping support here on this middle Celt. I have a feeling this is going to break, and then I could see a bearish play down to this $46 area as a target. Tesla now falling below upper Celt on the 4-hour as well. And yeah, BABA is still just holding on to that middle Celt, as well as Qualcomm. Disney just kind of hanging on to this little bit of gains that it can. McDonald's still holding on to the middle Celt on the 4-hour, and Baidu cannot seem to break above this middle Celt on the 4-hour also. AMD giving back some of its gains now at $40.13, but still the one leader of the pack as far as the names that we watch. So that's pretty interesting as of now. These FANG stocks are just looking super weak price action wise. Just nothing. Things are ticking low. Divergence keeps falling. This just could be a slight consolidation day. I don't see this being a big sell off or anything like that, but definitely could be. But this is what the market needed. Even the bulls needed this. We needed a breather to go up higher. I could see this being that day where we get a little bit of a breather, just down slightly by close, and then we could get a rip up to new highs, which I'm thinking is 3150, 3200. Then I'm really going to be starting to look at the trend turning. So you can see divergence still down at 252 here. VIX rising slightly above 1250, but we're ticking down on all markets now, and now falling into the red here at 3121. Yeah, exactly, Booyah. Boeing at top Celt on the 4-hour, exactly, but it has those significant price levels right above it at that 377 I just showed, and that was a significant level for me. I wasn't going to chase that play this morning, but if it broke that, then I would have got long as 384 for my price target. So now it's a much harder risk-reward play for me on Boeing, so something I will be watching, obviously, but it's hard for me to get long there as it is right now, so. Wow, Roku down 7% now, just absolutely falling apart here. Actually down twice as much as Home Depot, who had horrible earnings. So that's not good. Dang Roku, man, just falling apart. I was expecting the trend to change tomorrow. This could be just a breather for Roku, though, a big breather, and I know it's pretty bearish signals because of the offering. I actually looked into it. I did the math. It was like God, what did I came up about $96 million in stock. So that's pretty significant. I mean, it's a pretty big company, but they're not big enough to do that. They are new, though. So when you guys talk about that, I mean, you wouldn't expect like a Disney or an Apple or something like that to do that. But Roku is a very new company, so I'm not too surprised to see this. But you know what? The story is not over. Roku is going to be around for a long time. I in fact, in the next couple of years, wouldn't mind including them into my Monster Text name. I already have them in my portfolio as one of my big techs in my top 10. So, but this actually helps the case for me to look for a possible long into Roku. But I have a feeling we're going to get a bit of a trend change, and that's Roku. It's up and down, and that's why I love playing it. It is a trader's best friend. Roku is an amazing stock to play it both up and down. You just cannot get bias one way or the other. You've got to play it as it goes and follow the trend. The trend is your friend, like they say, and that's definitely true here. Who is leading the pack? Believe it or not, oh my gosh, Kraft Heinz leading the pack, only up 1.26%. And the bank names also up, Boeing up 0.48%, Visa up 1%, and Facebook up just barely over 1%. So very, very interesting, the names that are up today and what's down. It's very strange. But yeah, Roku down $11.52 as of now. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. I'll give you those levels later. I need to update them, so let me do that today or later tonight, and I'll get those levels to you. These are levels that me and ATG have been had on here for probably the last year, so I do need to update them a little bit, but they're very significant on Boeing, as it's been in this price range for the last couple of years. Pre obviously disasters, but I'll give you those levels. But that 377 is a massive, strong price resistance and support level, and then that next one is at 384. So that's where I was looking to. But no, good job, good read, man. You had it, you nailed it. And that's what you got to be careful about. It's not, again, like I keep saying, the same with Roku, is you just don't jump on that and you don't chase that because your risk reward wasn't there. Yeah, it was up and it could have, gap and go, but it wasn't ready to do that. And especially with the overall market where we're kind of stuck. Yes, we went up from yesterday, but like how much? We're up, 25 cents right now? Yeah, this is not the kind of day where you chase something like that out of the gate, Good job though, man. Sometimes not taking a trade is just as important as taking one, you guys. That's a good lesson to learn. XLF turning around here slightly, back up in the green again. Oil still down significant, now below $56. That is just absolutely awful. Gold making a little bit of a push up here, not green, but it's still, you can see it was down at 1465 here pre-market. Now it's all the way up to 1469. Bonds are slightly up once again. That's 2 days in a row that I've seen this at the beginning of the market. Bonds here. Ad diversion still coming down. We're now at 208 with a slight bump up. Ticks are going sideways, which is no surprise there. FANGs continuing to sell off other than Facebook. I believe they are all in the red now, though. They are, except for Facebook. Yeah, all the FANGs are now in the red except for Facebook, which is still having a hard time getting over this 199 level, which that 200 is just going to be a mental level that's going to be hard to get over. NVIDIA now breaking that middle Celt. This is where things could get really interesting. If it cannot hold that as support or as if it cannot get back over this as resistance, then I'm definitely would be looking at a bearish play on NVIDIA. Same with MU, Micron, also breaking below middle Celt. And Roku has broken below top Celt, upper Celt on the 4 hour. And Tesla is still having trouble getting any kind of momentum going here, but I'm not surprised after such a huge push it's had. So that was a big push up, and again, Tesla, same thing. It really just needs a couple of days to consolidate and breathe. All of these do. That's the big thing in the market. That is the consensus in the general market here. AMD is still in the green, and McDonald's finding support still on middle Celt. So Disney, I'm definitely watching, but I have a feeling this is going to be the rest of the day here, chopping around. Nvidia is just cannot hold on to any of these gains as it pushes up. It just falls back down. Now down 2%. Divergence line continuing to fall here, you guys. 160. This is what I was saying. I mean, we started at 784 positive. We are clear down to a dollar, down to 159 here. So that is definitely not good. Ticks also making a turn to the bearish side. So yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about last night, and definitely as it went into this morning. So not too surprised with any of this. Boom, there you go, booyah. That's right. Exactly, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, I saw that. I don't watch Shop too much anymore. I used to play it a lot. I actually need to put it back on the watch list. There's a couple names I could probably get off of there that haven't been doing either way, haven't been playing very well. So Shop I probably should put back on there. But you know what? In fact, I'm going to do that right now because you got me interested. Oh, where should I go? I think... Yeah, I gave back all those gains, didn't it? Wow. Literally, and then some. Now coming down onto this upper Celt as support. If it breaks that, then we definitely got this. Because you see here on the 4 hour, you got the 14 is the purple dash going over the 30, the white dash. That's a bullish signal, but it basically was leading into these last 2 days, Friday, Monday. So this could be a breather, but with this bullish signal, if this rests here and consolidates and uses this as support and stays on this and closes above upper Celt, I would have no trouble going long on Shop. So we'll have to definitely keep a tight eye on this. Thanks for pointing that out, man. See, this is exactly what we were wanting. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's exactly why we want to do what we're doing here. That's why we have the army. Diversions continuing to fall here at 130. Market can just not get a bid here. Not surprised. And the ticks are definitely making a turn for a bearish signal. So not too surprised. Roku coming back a little bit after that big sell-off this morning. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Shop is a good one. Man, look at these ticks. I mean, look at that. Just a freaking mound. Just turning so sharp. That is crazy. Down now at 3120, and we are approaching the zero line on the divergence line. We are now at a 70. This probably will not hold up too much longer. Not too surprised there with the way things are looking. So this could be a good rest day for the market. No, I do not think this is the turning point, the sell-off, whatever. I just think this is definitely the rest day that we needed to see. So. Oh. Divergence just continuing to fall here. I want to watch to see this hit zero. Some sort of sick pleasure I take in it. Yeah, tech has really flattened out, you guys. I'm not surprised at all. And there we go. Crossed that zero line. Ding, ding, ding. And look at these ticks. Just absolutely a turn to the bearish side. Yeah, this could definitely be that rest day we need to go higher. Like I've been saying, though, for the last couple of weeks, any slight sell-off consolidation will be bought to newer highs. I can almost guarantee it. This will be not a time to start going all bearish at the end of the world, throwing hands in the air. This is the consolidation that we need to go to higher highs. So I would not be surprised to get this for a day or two and then turn this up into new higher highs. Like I said, 3150, 3200. And then I would be really interested, and that's when we'll see the flip. But also going into the holiday season, that's a tough call to make. So. Guys, I'm just looking for some trades here to some A+ setups that maybe we can get into, help some of you guys get into a quick either day trade or a nice overnight swing. Nothing long, nothing more than a night overnight. So we'll just gonna keep looking for that right now. Yeah, I'm really watching Baba too, because and the other thing is not just from a technical aspect, even though I do like this technical setup here, especially on the 4 hour. The other thing with Baba is that so today, as of noon Eastern time, they will stop taking retail orders for their China offering. But what I like about that is that I have a feeling. So the problem is it doesn't start till the 26th next week. But what I really, really see this as a bullish signal for BABA. So I'm starting to wonder if I want to start to step into some to a longer term bullish play. So like a couple weeks out to capture those numbers that come out next week. But the problem is if I'm wrong and it falls apart because they don't sell that offering as high as they do. I really think they're going to. Alibaba is one of the biggest, if not, I think it is the biggest Chinese company. And the funny thing is, I don't know if you guys know the history of Baba. It's the craziest thing to me that, so number one, the guy that runs it is the weirdest dude, but like his story is pretty inspirational how he did it. And I mean, he was a school teacher. He was what was his story was I think it was he applied to work at KFC, and out of I think 27 candidates, they hired 26, and he was the only one who did not get hired. The dude has gone on to be a multi-billionaire, and it's just one of those stories that it's nice to hear, it just makes you really see things in perspective. And then the whole story of how Alibaba started and how they've gone through it, it's inspirational. I'll try to find the link to the documentary I watched, put it in Discord. You guys have to watch it. It's actually really, really interesting. But what they were talking about is that the reason they're doing this, obviously, is because of the trade deal. And it's a way for them to kind of, take some of the risk off from their side. And what they're looking to do is raise... I have it in my notes. Let me look here real quick. Let me find my notes real quick. I have the exact number. It's pretty crazy. Where is that at? Yeah, they're looking close to expected to raise $13.4 billion in this offering in China. And this is the complete opposite of what Roku did last night, right? This is extremely bullish for them. So when they opened in the New York Stock Exchange, and this is still a record, they hold the record for the largest IPO ever in the New York Stock Exchange, and I believe it's $25 billion. So what was it? So the only thing is then the record could be broken very soon, because I'm sure you guys are well aware of the Saudi Aramco deal, and they're estimating that one is to be $1.6 to $1.7 trillion. But still, I mean, to have that record as a Chinese company in the New York Stock Exchange is pretty impressive. But I see this being very, very significant for Baba, and that's something I want to keep my eyes on. And especially if they do nail those numbers, that it will not be just over there that these numbers fly up. They will fly up here too. I mean, they're basically doubling their worth overnight, essentially. I mean, in a week. But that's an incredibly genius idea by them. I do think it's a little bit weird that we allow that to even be a thing. I've always kind of thought it was strange that the whole Chinese stock thing, but and I know we were talking about a few weeks ago in Discord. I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, the China Connection. That is also another interesting one. I'll post those later today. I'll put them both in there. It's just interesting to watch, and it's something that is actually very, very pertinent to the way to what's important right now in this market, and especially with the trade deal, because when that does go through, that is something that will be a massive increase. I mean, they're already up pretty high this year, but imagine when that goes through, how much different it'll be. So yeah, just the whole story of the Alibaba thing is just really interesting to me. Sorry to kind of go off there, but I do find it really interesting, actually. Oh, I did not see it. So TJ Maxx, ticker symbol TJX, actually did beat on earnings and sales. So there you go. So maybe that was just a Kohl's story and a Home Depot story. So if Urban Outfitters tonight after hours comes in positive, and then Lowe's comes in positive tomorrow, that will be actually good for the market, because this will be showing some weakness on the retail side. But if all of those are positive, then we know that it's then a Home Depot and Kohl's story, and not a market story. And there you go. Boeing is now broken the upper Celt on the 4-hour. Will not be surprised if that tries to get bought back up, but definitely see that coming down. And as you can see there, it had the bullish cross of the 14 over the 30 on the way up, and it had a big jump up there. But this story is so sketchy for me. But like I said in the pre-market, tomorrow and Thursday, the CEO is meeting with Southwest. So I'll definitely have my ear to the wall on that one to find out if they can what they have to say. Of course, they're going to try to say the most positive stuff they can to spin it that way, because Southwest is their largest customer. But I think that they still will have to be somewhat honest in there, so it'll be interesting to see what they have to say there. So, FANG stocks have kind of flattened out here on their slight sell-offs, and they're all kind of turning around, especially on Apple, Netflix, Facebook still just kind of chopping around sideways. Same with Microsoft and Amazon. Google is down now, $3.28. Nothing significant on any of these. They're just straight chop up, exactly like we were talking about there. Ad decline line is trying to push back up towards the zero line here at -50, and you can see on the on all market ticks are kind of just going sideways now. Market is now down just slightly, $2.25 at 31.1950. So. But the VIX continues to rise here, so there's definitely some more risk coming in, which is probably, I was just looking at it on the SPX, there is a lot of contracts being bought up on the SPX. And that's the thing I keep trying to explain to you guys, and I'll talk more about this, about hedging, especially if we do that later today, is that the VIX is actually, it actually measures the volatility of the SPX, not anything else, the SPX. And I'll explain more of this later if we have time today, which it looks like we will, because I'm pretty sure we're going to just chop around for the medium term of today. So hopefully we'll get into some more hedging and talk about spreads and hedging spreads, especially at these levels, because I see we're probably going to be up to those levels where I'm going to be looking for a reverse. But as of right now, this is just a reverse to the mean, you guys. This is not a sell-off. This is not getting bearish. So starting to tick up there slightly. So yeah, keep an eyes on that, guys. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee. Just be careful if you get anything. You guys get in the Discord, throw your trade ideas around, or in here, either or. But definitely don't be chasing right now. This is where it gets scary. Don't force something that's not there. Don't get directionally biased if it's not there. Yeah, booyah. Let me, I see you eyeing it. um, Let me show you what I'm looking at there. So what I was looking at, you guys, by the way, you see here we've gone at divergence lines, got back over positive over the zero line. We're also ticking up, so would not be surprised if we see this catch a little bit of a boost here, but obviously still very, very, very choppy. Individual names though are the plays obviously today. Yeah, what I was looking at though, on the 4 hour, I was just looking on daily on the other one. It's not as bullish on the daily necessarily. It did have a bearish signal back about 2 weeks ago where the 14 crossed down the 30, so that was bearish, but it pretty much got it all out and it hit that low of 282. And since then, we've been on this nice little rip for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. We had a couple of days of consolidation and then back up yesterday. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we get another day or two of this kind of consolidation and then the next leg up. But what I was looking at here is you see this on the 4 hour, the 14 crossing the 30, very nice bullish signal. And then also it caught that... It found support on the upper Celt on the 4 hour. That would have been a great trade this morning to take that. So you get this first signal here with the 14 crossing the 30. That's indicator number one. Indicator number two would have been that it caught the support here on upper Celt. It would have been to get long here as it found support, and then would have pushed up here, and you'd obviously still be in that trade. What I'm going to be looking for though, is a wait to get a further indicator on the daily, so that once so maybe after today we'll have to see where it rests later this afternoon and going into close, and I will definitely be charting this one and talking more about this tonight and tomorrow. But I'd like to see this consolidate for a day or two, and then if it can keep the support on this upper Celt and 14 and 30 stay where they're at, and then obviously on the daily, especially if the 14 crosses the 30, then I'm extremely bullish. But I'm definitely bullish as of now. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm obviously not hopping in it yet. It's not ready. It's not there yet. There was a trade already this morning on it for sure that I missed. You obviously pointed it out, so great job. There was the trade, but I would like to see this. I would like to be a little bit longer term. I didn't want to trade this just as a day trade. I'd like to swing this for a couple of days. So I want to see this consolidate out for another day or two, and then get long, like maybe going into Thursday, Friday, or maybe the beginning of next week. So yeah, shop is you. Thank you very much, man. You put that on my radar. Should have been on there, but it is on there again. So that is all 100% you. So I appreciate it. This is exactly why we made this room and why we're doing this. But yeah, that is definitely something that's on my radar as of now. And I mean, there was a great trade on that when it hit that 317.28 would have been your signal to go long, as it held support there. So great call, man. Like really stoked for you that you nailed that one. I mean, that was 100% a fantastic trade idea. I'm also watching this McDonald's one because the same thing, the 14 crossed over the 30 going up, but it's kind of just consolidating here. They've obviously had the sell-off and then the issues they've had with the CEO, that whole sexual scandal. So it'll be interesting to see if this can consolidate out, and then I would be looking for the next leg up to this upper Celt. But this is a longer play. This is like a week or two out at least minimum, and I'd probably be buying like a monthly, like the December monthlies probably if I go with that, even as far as getting into January. And man, is that not crazy to hear me say that already, looking at January contracts as short-term plays? That's crazy, right? That's how close we are. I cannot believe how close we are to Christmas and New Year's. I wonder if we'll get another Santa Claus rally or if we'll get a Christmas Eve dump. That'll be the true question this year. So, good morning so far. I mean, yeah, obviously I'm stoked because of my earnings plays, but also I think it was good to see a couple of you guys got those Roku puts yesterday and nailed those for a couple 100% gainers. And then I know that a couple of the people were in Disney. That thing is just not moving yet today. Everything is just super choppy, but you guys are being smart. You guys are calling out good trade ideas. You guys are holding on to your cash, and that's what I'd like to see, man. Those are positions. So great job, you guys. Yeah, exactly, Booyah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, broke out of the large wedge on the daily from when it dropped from 420. Yeah, exactly. But I also like that it did that because now I think it's at a much better position to play it long. I mean, it's $100 down, right? So yeah, it's a huge difference, and there's going to be a lot of people that are bag holding on that one. I mean, it's pretty expensive stock, so there's probably not that many people, but you know what I mean. Especially institutions that have been in it. So this coffee is just not waking me up this morning. I've been up since I'm on Mountain Time, but I've been up since 4. But that's because I had earnings plays that came out at 4. Oh, this life is gonna kill me, I swear. It's been 11 years in a week. I'm gonna have to do something special for you guys. Yeah, 11 years in 1 week. It's crazy. Obviously, the first couple years were not like this. It was a lot of trial and error. That's why we're trying to be there for you guys with all this. Oh, Mr. Vix, what are you doing? That's crazy. The last 2 30-minute candles were doji candles on the VIX. As you can see, guys, we're just really hugging this 0 line on the add divergence line. That is telltale of the choppy chop day. And still, I mean, we were ticking up there for for a little bit, but we're just absolutely going sideways. Little sell side here in the morning and just going sideways. I guarantee this is pretty much going to be the majority of the middle of the day, which will be good for us if we want to get into some lessons and stuff. I will talk to you guys in the Discord here shortly about stuff that we like to do. I think it's going to be a lot of talking about longer term spreads and hedging, because I think that's where we're at. At least it seems like the majority of you guys, that's definitely where you're at. You guys are far beyond the basics and stuff like that, but I think this is a basic skill that needs to be harnessed and taught. And I think that's where we're at, especially at the levels we're at in the market. Just being safe, having that safety net under us. So I think that's what we may end up doing for a couple hours today. And maybe we'll do that for the rest of this week, and then next week I'd like to start getting into some more butterfly stuff and more of the Greeks. And I know Darth is going to be putting out some videos on, I think, the Greeks, and I will have we're putting out. I'm making like an half animated, half real basics video that we can kind of shop around for like clients and customers and like students, not for you guys necessarily. I mean, you guys can obviously, I will test it on you guys and want you guys' input, but yeah, that's something I'm putting out. But Darth is going to be putting out the more of like the stuff that you guys need to be watching and learning. But when I'm doing these live streams, same with ATG, when we just want to be doing the teaching you guys stuff that is pertinent to now, stuff that you guys can be doing now. So I think that's what we may do for a couple hours middle of the day here. So I may go grab some lunch or something, and then we could all plan on meeting up here in like an hour or two and go over that for a little bit, and then you guys can do live Q&As with live examples while we're doing it. And while we're doing it, it's always nice because we can end up finding trades. So I like to do it. VIX is still just kind of resting here, consolidating around these 1260 to 1270 area. And divergence is still hugging that 0 line as we're ticking sideways, and we are finding just sideways straight up chop action. And obviously, I know it's hard to trade these when we're in these range days, and it's not trend days, and trend days are where we like to play, the style that we will mostly all play. But it's these overnight moves that are pretty much dictating everything, and I know it sucks, but good for swing trading, not so great for our trend intraday stuff, but that's okay. There'll be plenty more, and that's why I'm talking about the hedging stuff and getting prepared for that. So yeah.